And their chemistry together is insane.
Why did Colleen Hoover suddenly erase Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni from her Instagram? The It Ends With Us author, who once supported the film and its stars, has now wiped them from her feed, fueling speculation that she's trying to distance herself from the escalating legal battle. With lawsuits, countersuits, and even Taylor Swift's name being thrown into the mix, things are getting messier by the day. But is Hoover quietly picking a side, or is there something bigger going on behind the scenes? Well, let's dig in and find out. And hey, if you're into Hollywood drama that's messier than the actual movies, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, this drama is far from over. You can't afford to miss it, okay? So this legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, it's been dragging on for almost 2 months now, and every update is messier than the last. It all kicked off right before Christmas when Lively dropped a bombshell lawsuit accusing her former co-star of sexual harassment. But that was just the beginning. Soon after, the New York Times published an explosive report exposing alleged text messages between Baldoni's publicists. And get this, they were supposedly planning a smear campaign to take Lively down. Of course, Baldoni wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back with a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the Times. But he didn't stop there. Oh no. Last month, he countersued Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, claiming they were trying to hijack the entire movie. Now, that's a twist no one saw coming. And if you thought that was the wildest part, hold on. Baldoni's legal team dropped a 240-page legal filing. Yep, 240 pages, alleging that Lively's team edited text messages to leave out key details. And then came the part no one expected. Lively allegedly compared herself to Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, calling Reynolds and Taylor Swift her dragons. Yeah, we're talking full-on Mother of Dragons mode in a real-life court case. But here's where things get really uncomfortable. We got our hands on raw footage from a dance scene, one that Lively says is a key part of her harassment claims. According to her lawsuit, the microphones were switched off, giving Baldoni the perfect opportunity to nuzzle her neck and whisper, "You smell so good." Now pause for a second because what? If this is true, that's seriously disturbing. But if it's not, why would Lively's team go this far? And more importantly, where does this case even go from here? So here's where things take a sharp turn. Remember that whole claim about Baldoni's microphone being switched off? Well, turns out, that might not be the full story. Leaked audio now suggests that Baldoni and Lively actually spent most of that dance scene talking about their significant others, not some whispered, creepy moment. And that infamous, "You smell so good" line, it wasn't some inappropriate comment, it was about Lively's fake tan. Yeah, this just flipped the whole narrative. And it doesn't stop there. A voicemail obtained by reports sheds even more light on the now infamous rooftop scene, the one that sparked Lively's whole dragon comment. Turns out Lively had made some edits to the scene, but when Baldoni didn't shower her changes with enough praise, she wasn't happy. In the voicemail, a clearly rattled Baldoni can be heard apologizing, saying, "I fell short." But here's where it gets even more interesting. Baldoni actually addressed the dragon comment directly, saying, "Damn right, you got great friends." If that's how you felt and they knew that, we should all have friends like that. He actually praised her crew, calling Reynolds and Taylor Swift two of the most creative people on the planet, and even saying the three of them together were unbelievable and a force. So, not exactly the hostile reaction you'd expect, right? And just when you think it couldn't get more intense, Baldoni's team took things to another level. They launched an entire website dedicated to the case. Yeah, the lawsuitinfo.com is now live, featuring pages of evidence, including an updated version of Baldoni's complaint and a timeline of events that lays out exactly how this feud spiraled during the making of the 2024 adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel, It Ends With Us. Oh, the receipts include texts between Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds, where Reynolds actually called Baldoni adored, which doesn't exactly scream bad blood. And then there are flirty texts from Lively to Baldoni, adding yet another twist to this already chaotic legal war. At this point, this case has more drama than the actual movie, and the real question is, how much crazier is it going to get? Just when you thought things couldn't get any messier, Colleen Hoover joins the saga. Now, Hoover is the actual mastermind behind It Ends With Us. She wrote the novel back in 2016. And let's be real, it's the reason this whole movie exists in the first place. But now, instead of celebrating the film's release, she's caught in the middle of a Hollywood battlefield. Baldoni claims that Lively used her A-list power to sway Hoover to her side. And honestly, the timeline is suspicious. Back in the day, Hoover and Baldoni were tight, like really tight. Emails included in Baldoni's $400 million countersuit show that Hoover personally told him there is no one better for the project. She even pushed for him to play the male lead. But then, plot twist! The second Lively's lawsuit dropped, Hoover suddenly put out a glowing statement calling Lively honest, kind, supportive, and patient. And just when things were heating up, she deleted her entire Instagram account, wiping that statement off the internet. Coincidence? Baldoni sure doesn't think so. And here's where it gets even juicier. Fast forward to February 12th, 2025, Hoover reactivates her Instagram. So, before all this legal chaos exploded, Hoover had plenty of posts celebrating the It Ends With Us cast, Lively as Lily Bloom, Baldoni as Ryle Kincaid, all smiles and excitement for the movie. But after reactivating her account, fans noticed something different. The early casting announcements are still there. A few posts dedicated to fans are kept, but everything else, gone. According to Page 6, Hoover wiped all traces of the film from her feed. And naturally, this set off a firestorm on Reddit and X. One eagle-eyed fan spotted something even spicier. Those Hoover was still following Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. But guess who was missing from her following list? Justin Baldoni. Yep, she quietly unfollowed him, and people had thoughts. She is still following Blake and Ryan, but not following Justin, one Reddit user pointed out. Others started calling her out for allegedly backing Lively only when it was socially convenient, and then hitting the delete button when things got too messy. And then came the real mic drop moment. One ex-user summed it up perfectly. Oh, DM, this just gets more and more quicksandy, doesn't it? Colleen Hoover was all on Blake's side when it was socially convenient, but now, scrubbing Baldoni and Blake from her IG feed, that speaks volumes about where she stands now. Woof. Some people even pointed out that it's way too late for a digital cleanup to change anything. One ex-user summed it up perfectly. Removing photos doesn't change the core issue. Focus should remain on the legal merits. Another took it even further, saying, Colleen Hoover can delete everything about It Ends With Us, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and all her kissing, but the internet never forgets. And honestly, they're not wrong. If Hoover thought quietly scrubbing her posts would erase this mess, she might need a reminder that screenshots exist. But while all this drama is unfolding, Hoover seems to be shifting gears hard. Instead of dwelling on It Ends With Us, she's now focused on her next big adaptation, Verity, her 2018 thriller, which is set to star Anne Hathaway as the lead. And hey, at least this time, she gets to start fresh. No messy lawsuits yet. Speaking of legal drama, Lively's team just took a minor hit in court. They were pushing for an extension to file their amended complaint, hoping for 2 extra weeks to add new names to the lawsuit. But Judge Louis J. Lyman, yeah, he wasn't having it. Instead of 2 weeks, they got 1 extra day. So now, instead of filing by Valentine's Day, the deadline was Monday. Ouch. And if you thought the names in this case couldn't get bigger, get ready. Several high-profile witnesses are expected to be deposed in the coming months, including Taylor Swift. Yep, even she is getting dragged into this mess. Oh, and here's the thing. The case is currently set for March 2026. But the judge is not amused by how much of this fight is playing out in the media. In fact, he's already threatened to move the trial up if people keep turning it into a press war. So, now the big question is, how much more chaotic is this going to get before we even reach trial? Because at this rate, we might be looking at the most Hollywood courtroom showdown in years. If this case gets any wilder, we might need popcorn. So if you don't want to miss the next twist, go ahead and subscribe. It's about to get even crazier. But what do you think? Is Hoover silently taking sides or just trying to save herself from the fallout? Leave your comments below.